Hi and welcome everyone. This is part two of the stream. Sorry about the issues before. So it's Brian with Captain Savage Aquatics. We're just restarting the stream here. So let me flip this around. There we go. Wait for everyone to roll in. Hey, Fountain Aquatics. Yeah, I restarted the stream. I don't know what was going on, but now we're up to 4 viewers. For some reason, I think it was the YouTube app errored out, and it just didn't close on me. And there's Molly drinking the water, trying to get at the thing. Get in there, bad girl. Go. She thinks by drinking 16, 18 gallons of water, she's going to be able to get at the couple, or the 5 rubber left plecos in here. What's up? Hey, Melvin's Aquatic Empire. How are you doing, buddy? So update for anyone that's just joining that I don't know where it cut out. I took the 5 pork chop raspberries out of that tank, pretty much cleaned all the duckweed out of here, put it in here. I filled it up in 8x8 net of duckweed, and I put it in the 125 and the 75 between the two of them. I moved one of the 10 gallons over, got the sword plant out of there, moved it into the 125, which I'll show you. I moved shrimp into this. I got like 5 or 8 cherry red shrimp in this 3 gallon, and then probably 3 to 5, maybe even 10 blue velvet shrimp that are like tiny in there, and like probably 4 or 5 snowball shrimp, juvie size, maybe smaller. So here's this tank. It's the snails. I did a gravel vac to it. There's still a lot of debris. I did scoop like all the duckweed out of these 2 tanks. This one I literally pulled a full 8x8 net. You know what I mean? 6 inches deep or 8 inches deep, and threw it in this 125 and the 75. I cleared out more duckweed over here. So I just got this shrimp tank to move. I don't know what you guys caught, but I'm taking that shelf off up there. Unfortunately, I was on the phone calls for the last 3 or 4 hours, or this would have been done. Taking the top shelf off, I'm going to put the shrimp tank up there after I raise this up 1 rung. That way, I can actually get my hand in here without having to put it at a weird angle, because my elbow or part of my forearm won't pass. So I need about another 2 inches of space. So if I move it up 1 rung to the next rung, it's going to give me like 6 inches, 8 inches of space above it, so I can get in there, clean the tanks. My surge protector was very hot yesterday, so I unplugged these 2 heaters. I moved the heater from here into here since I got the shrimp, and they were used to being 75, 76 degrees. Obviously that doesn't have a temperature gauge on it, but it'll take it up to 78 degrees. Or within as close as 78 as possible. You can see how much darker the 125 is. Because all this duckweed up here, I think it's adding more better, filtration to this tank. Even though I got the sponge filter set up. What's up, fish traffic, fishy snowman? How you doing? I cleaned the 125 sponge filter. This Fluval 4 out yesterday because it was barely even trickling. I cleaned that sponge filter out. I cleaned the 20 or 30 gallon sponge filter on the left here that's got bubbling really good out yesterday. Same with this sponge filter. I pretty much cleaned all my sponge filters, even this one. I didn't want to do it, but I only have the one filtration device in there. But you can see how much better and how much more flow I have with that. So let me show you guys the 125 real quick. Do me a favor, guys. If you don't mind, do me a favor, share this out to Facebook or to your friends and family and stuff. If I do it from there, since I don't have the bandwidth on the internet, since I'm going through Wi-Fi, it'll pause the stream or may interrupt it. There's the 5 pork chop raspberries in here temporarily till I get their new home set up. Obviously, all the convicts are in here. The yo-yo loaches are doing great. Here's that sword from the 10 gallon. This tank's a lot darker if you can't tell. Because I added like a 4x4 scoop from the big net out of the 8x8, you know what I mean? So it was about that much duckweed thickness across the whole bottom of the net, 8 inches wide by 8 inches wide, or by 4 inches wide. I'm not sure. And I added that part of the house plant that broke off that Aqua Clear 70. So I have this set up. I have the light over here. It's a 5K light. You get the water wisteria growing out of here. The flow is actually pretty good. You can't really tell, but I mean, I got Java moss and Christmas moss growing out of here. So that's filtering. I actually cleaned that intake sponge out because it was really bad yesterday, but look at all the duckweed that's built back up on it, which is okay with me. Can anyone ID in the stream what that plant is? I cannot remember, and I don't know if I got it off Aquabid or eBay or Facebook Marketplace. I can't find the receipt anywhere, otherwise I'd know what the plant was. But that's doing great. Don't mind the little, what do you want to call it? Algae or whatever that's growing on it. That came from the 22 bow front. This log in here, that Anubias, I think Nana Petite, or the long narrow leaf Anubias or whatever, it's not Java fern, is growing. It's got a brand new couple leaves since putting it in here. I added more biological filtration. I just threw it over in the corner. You know, that was a sitting with air on it with that big thing. I know I could just take the air stone off of one of these and put it in there, but who cares? It's pinky floss. It's out of the way. I just got to get the flame moss out from under there. That way it doesn't die. So, I mean, this tank's coming along. It kind of looks messy right now, but this is just the holding tank for now. Till I know this tank's been up for a month. I'm going to move a lot of this other stuff out of here. I'll keep the Naha grass, but my goal is to get one specific line of fancy guppies. Maybe like three or five or six pairs of them, and put them in this tank that's all the same line, and have the fancy guppies breed in here and do super reds in this. But I want to make sure this tank has been set up for like at least a month and a half before I move the super reds over. I just want to make sure all the water parameters stay stable. I tested this every day. I'm reading 0 on ammonia, 0 nitrate, nitrite, all that, even when I fertilized this tank yesterday. So obviously the plants are absorbing it. I did I used 2 strips from each of the things just to make sure it wasn't the strip was bad or contaminated or whatever. Because I got this, I got the 5-way test strip or 6-in-1 test, and then I got the individual ammonia test kit, and it's showing 0 for that ammonia. And then this, my pH is right about, if I remember correctly, it's like a 7.2 or 7.1 to as low as a 6.9. It's like a 0.3 difference. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what color it was. That's why I kind of tested twice. The GH and KH are perfect. I want to say KH was right around 100 to 120, which is ideal. Chlorine, there was no chlorine. The total water hardness is somewhere between, I want to say 100, 125. It's kind of the in-between of these two colors right here. So I'm just roughly guessing, and nitrate and nitrite is 0. So, I don't know. To me, that tells me the tank's stabilized, but I want to give it a month before I add even more fish. And when I do move the super reds and get that fancy guppy line in, all these convicts are coming out of here. I'm going to put them in like a 30-gallon tank or a 30-gallon tote or whatever that I have that I picked up the other day. And they're going to be in a pond type situation out on the deck outside. In the shade, obviously, with plants and stuff. I'll let those guys grow out, and hopefully during the rest of the summer, they'll put 2 or 3 or 4 more inches on in size. I know they're pretty quick growing. And then I'm going to introduce them into the 125 possibly. Otherwise, I'll have set up and have 55 cycled that they can go into. Yeah. And I plan on picking up 3 or 4 or 5 more yo-yo loaches because I like how they look for this tank. I know they'll eat snails because I've seen snail carcasses in here already. from whatever came over in the Naha grass and off the plants and off the Aquaclear 70. So let me know what you guys think of this tank. I do have other videos that are supposed to come out within the next 24, 48 hours, 72 hours. So I'm in the process of finishing those up. I already have 2 or 3 videos on YouTube just waiting to drop pretty much. You know how you can schedule them. Um, so I'm trying to get a bump, many more videos because this coming Friday I'm leaving for like a week to 10 days to go up to my parents to visit with my sister and her kids and kind of hang out. So I will have really good internet there. I've contacted a couple of my old stomping grounds, the main one that was near my parents' house. The owner says it's cool for me to go in and do a tour of the place. Um, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy that like to come in every like week or two or less, or every 3 or 4 days and buy, 50 or $100 at a time worth of fish supplies and fish and all that." While I was out living at my parents' house. Yep, that was me. So I mean, I was probably paying a couple of his workers every couple weeks at that time. But when you're living with your parents and you don't have rent to pay, you got a little extra slush fund money then. So I'm gonna go check out that store. Maybe pick up some plants because he usually has a big set of plants. And my parents have an old 20 long that I had set up, which that 20 long's got to be going on almost 10 years old now. I got to check the seals to make sure that doesn't need to be resealed. It looked like it was in really good condition because my dad and my mom keep up on the water changes. They've actually finally let me finally let me bring live plants to them. So they got Java moss, Java fern, some Anubias growing in it. So I'm curious to see over the last 6-8 months what the plants have done. So maybe I'll do a video on that and upload it because my dad has really good internet. So compared to me. So yeah, that'll be cool. Alright, I gotta get some of that blue-green algae out of there. That came over on the, from that sword, from that 10-gallon that I drained yesterday. I just don't want that taken over in here. So I'll pull that off. The willow moss, the flame moss, I've actually put on height, believe it or not. This has doubled in size and length, so I don't know if this got the right amount of nutrients or what. I mean, this is a planted substrate. Planning on picking up more planted substrate when I go home. Right from the guy. He's got stuff that he's gonna give me for doing that with on the tour. So maybe I'll do a quick unboxing at my parents' house to show you some stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna get any fish from them. I mean, I can keep it in the 20 long because that 20 long's fairly understocked that my parents have. So I could leave them in there and feed them and acclimatize them and quarantine that little 20 long. But I don't know how I like taking fish on a 6 or 8 hour drive back home. What am I doing today? It's my day off, Jason. My plan, Jason, I moved the other 10-gallon off the stand. My plan, I got stuck on phone calls, important phone calls, talking to my sister and setting things up and other things. I want to move this 10-gallon. You showed up late to the thing. I'm taking that top shelf down. I'm moving that up one rung. I'm going to put the 10-gallon shrimp tank up there. Otherwise, I'm going to lower that one. No, I'm going to leave that because that gives me enough room. I'm going to move that up one rung and put the 10-gallon up there. And then I got to clean this one out. I did a gravel vac to this yesterday. This has been like 100% water changed or maybe over because I was trying to clean up the bottom. I'm literally starting fresh with that tank. I'm going to do the same thing to this because all the fish got removed from this one. I'm going to take out the fake plants, tear this thing off. Hopefully today or tomorrow the sponge filters will come in. I have like 8 or 10 40-gallon sponge filters coming in. So I'm going to set these all up and move this pump today, air pump, because when I move this tank, it's going to be all rerouted. The air pump's going to be up top on the shelf, or I got a shelving unit I can put the air pump on right there and plug it in. And then it'll get rewired. I'll have to move all this air line and all that fun stuff. And reset this back up. There's Butterbean or Little Savage. chilling. I gave him some snails earlier. I do have a feeding video on that. I'll probably post that up to Instagram though. There's I'm just gonna call him Butterbean, but Little Savage anyways. All curious and looking at us. Sorry for the glare. I'm planning on cleaning out that tank right there. See that plant? I got a clipping from work that happened to break off because it just did. And that is a plant that's started out as one of these runners, like this. Probably this size. And this is an aquaponics setup. You can see the water, it's only trickling. But they got the clay beads and all that, right? I'm going to clean all this out. This has got Java Moss, Christmas Moss, Anubias in this 1.5 or 2 gallon tank right here. There is no heater, so I'm going to probably cut this back and move some of these plants and maybe put them over here and set up like a dish where, you know, a little potting dish. This with bare roots and let it sit there in the corner or something off the 20 lung. Right here. Butterbean always likes to hang out in that Anubias. I'm waiting for new growth before I start taking those bigger leaves off of this Anubias, and then I'll split it. The water wisteria is doing okay. The Bacopa, I got this from PetSmart. It was on sale for like a couple bucks, so I couldn't resist. I keep putting it here, but I'm sure Butterbean, or AKA Little Savage, keeps knocking it out of there. Or this blue lobster, while it's feeding, just rips it out of the sand right there. So, I don't know. I'm just going to let it float for now. I may move it into that tank or the plant at 75 or whatever. I have yet to have a chance to go out and get more driftwood. I'm losing people, so I don't know if the connection's shittier. But I'm going to move some of these bigger logs of the Mopani driftwood and the manzanite wood out of here, and I'm going to put them in the 75 to give this one some more character. Maybe I'll do another live stream of that. Probably not. I'll probably record the video because it can give me more video content while I'm gone at my parents' house later this week, next weekend. So I'll put some driftwood in here. I mean, that's seasoned upon season. Most of this driftwood, this big piece of driftwood, I've had over 20 years. Easily. That was part of one of the first tanks I set up when I started getting an allowance and all that when I was younger. So, I mean, look at how dark it is compared to the rest of them. So, yeah, I'm going to take some of these other pieces. Not so much this branch. I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to leave that log in there. But I'm probably going to take these two pieces of wood, or that one right there, and this darker one, and maybe that other one that's kind of that's in there, and I'll put it in the 75 gallon. Maybe I'll take out the Anubis Nana and maybe this bigger plant, and I'll glue it. And I'll glue those. I'll use the super glue gel and glue that right to the driftwood. I might even sorry about that phone call. I might take some of that flame moss, or just take the that little metal sheeting that it's on, like that stainless steel sheeting that the flame moss is on. Maybe I'll glue some of that stainless steel right to the a piece of driftwood on the backside and let the flame moss take over on it to, you know, do that. So I got 3 chunks of flame moss, actually 4. Flame moss, flame moss, flame moss, flame moss. Not sure what that is. That might be Christmas moss. Then I got some willow moss in the back right there, which kind of looks roughly. That's willow moss. What's everything I know? How you doing? Whoa, hello. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes it does that when you can't focus properly. Very cool tank. Thank you, Melvin. Everything I know. How you doing? There's 2 out of the 3 yo-yo loaches here. There's all 3 in the viewfinder now. 1, 2, 3. Just sifting through the planted substrate. I'm really enjoying the 75. I know it's really not the way I want it right now. I want to get some stones in here. Things like that, but I want to first fill up the substrate, get the plants planted that I want it. I'm probably going to take that stone, that big stone right there, that's about 25 pounds. and I'm gonna put it in the 75. But if I do that, I'm probably going to move all this out and put egg crate under there. You know what I mean? The light diffuser stuff under there. That way, it's sitting on that and the weight's dispersed over a further distance. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just lay it right on top of the planted substrate. Take that log, kind of drift it. Maybe put some of the flame moss. Whether maybe that smaller piece of flame moss, I'll put that over there. So I mean, this tank will. I plan to have this tank looking nice by the time I go to move the plecos in here, the super reds. So that'll be pretty good. I don't know. Right now, I gotta be honest, this is one of my favorite tanks because it's kind of coming along. This is a little pet project, you know what I mean? Let's see what else is going on in here. Got the convicts going through the flame moss. I could stare at this tank for hours, guys. I do have two 80-gallon sponge filters. Or yeah, two 80-gallon sponge filters coming in. They're not like the extra large where you can get it can do 125 gallons, like 125 gallon per hour sponge filter. If I wanted that, I would just grab that and put it in the 75. But I kind of want to hide those smaller ones, so they're kind of a bigger, finer filter. One's a coarser filter, the other one's a finer filter for like polishing the water. So I'll probably set one up here. Maybe put a rock pile of driftwood in front of it, because that Mopani will hide the sponge filter fairly well. Now this plant that I took out of the 10 gallons been submerged in water, the sword, for quite a while. In that 10 gallon and cooler water. Now this tank's running about 74. That tank was running about 70, 69 to 70, because there was no heater in it. There was no fish in it that I pulled that sword out. I know plants do go better in cooler temperatures, grow better, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes, and I might trim some of these bad leaves off that are adding to plant decay in here. Because I'm pretty sure the YOLO loaches already took out the 5 or 10 snails that had actually made it into this 75 gallon already. Because they're notorious. They'll eat snails. Maybe not the shell, but they'll get the soft tissue of them. Let's see what else is going on with this tank. I'll cut that. A newbie back when those smaller, newer leaves take over more. Then I'll trim it up a little bit. That way it doesn't look so bad in there. Just having the green stems, That's that house plant, our outdoor plant that I took a clipping of. Like when I first set up my very first 10-gallon tank in here for this apartment. I mean, this thing's grown big. And these other clippings and stuff you see all around was from that one Aqua Clear 70. So you got this like 3-foot long clipping. Then you got another probably 3-foot long clipping right there. So if you guys can't tell, I like plants. This tank's doing great. Like way more water flow since I did the squeezing out of the sponges and all that, and filtration. Let me see if I can't get any of the super reds on the viewfinder for you. I added some shrimp into this 18-gallon tote. I just scooped it with the little shrimp net right here. That's how I added them to the 3-gallon. There's probably 10 or 15, 20 shrimp in this little 3-gallon right now, with the Naha grass and all that, with snails. I like the little shrimp net. I can't remember who I got this from. I think Sardine Tanks, I bought it or whatever. Or maybe, no, this is the shrimp net Jason sent me, or Fish Tropic, El Tropico. So I added probably 20 or 25 shrimp from that 10-gallon, and there's still a couple hundred or so more left in that tank. There's little tiny shrimplets that are like the size of like 2 hair widths, but really tiny, like really small, like maybe an 1/8 inch big, or a 1/16 of an inch. It's like you could miss them if you didn't look close enough. Alright, it doesn't look like any super red fry are sitting on these white tubes like normal. Come on, Molly, enough. Pain in the ass dog. Always wanting to get at these tanks. Always wondering what I'm doing on them. That's why these tanks, once I get that last 10-gallon move, I'm going to lift these tanks up. I'm gonna grab that 40-gallon stand that's coming over into this corner, or I might just use cinder blocks and build that up. Maybe I'll do racks of 55s. I do have 4 feet or 52 inches that I can play with right here, and I have like 26 out that I can go. But all that, the equipment, those tables right there, that little roller with the shrimp tank on it, that's going to disappear, so I got to break those things down. That roller is probably going to be where I put my microwave and the coffee maker, if it'll fit. I know the microwave will fit, but I don't know. How's the stream coming in, guys? Because no one's been typing for a little bit. Live chat. Doing great. So we only got 4 people in here. Let me see if I can't get some super red plecos in here. Come on, move. Sorry, guys. Enough, Molly. She just wants to come over here and pound on this and lick the all the duckweed out of this. You know what? Molly's about to get in a smack because I can't stand her. Enough. Yeah, that's right. Lay your ass down. I have certain times that I don't want to be bothered, and usually when I'm live streaming is one of them. Alright, I'm not seeing any super reds in here. They're in here. I know they are. Last time I did an update on this tank, or whatever part of the shrimp tank update, it was a male was guarding this hut, a male was guarding that hut. There's one of the chocolate plecos right there. Sorry for the angle. It's kind of hard to see with the glare. It's right there near the concrete, or whatever that is, that rock and the sponge filter. Most of the bigger super reds and stuff, males and females, love to hide in these hideouts, but they also love to hide under the PVC piping that's in here. So that's the plans for that. Once I get these 2 10-gallon tanks set up, I'm going to start picking the specimens for the fancy guppies that I want to breed, and I'll have you guys come along for that. And we'll select the males and females you guys think I should breed. We'll do that together. So that should make for an interesting live stream. And go from there. And then I get about 3 or 4 or 5 more 10 gallons that are out in the storage area that I need to bring in to set up on this rack system. Good so far, Captain. Oh, okay, cool. I'm just trying to see if I can't find super reds. They're in here. The fry are definitely in here. And they're pretty, some of the fry are pretty big. Let me see. Oh, that's Java Fern. That was getting nuked, so let me move that right here where it's not going to get moved. That way I can get some light, because it was dying back. Don't mind me. I did drain this water 2 days ago. It's just because I'm stirring it all up. I gotta actually get in here and do a gravel vac. But I've kind of been avoiding it because I don't want to suck up shrimplets, super red, really tiny super red fry. But I'll just add some filter floss to it and put a pond pump in here or something. I'm just gonna have to get in here with the python to suck up all that gunk at the bottom. That way there's less detritus in here. But this tank, oh, there's something there. Nope. That is, yeah, there's a super red. There's a male super red hiding in here. I bet that's where the female is too. Breeding behavior, gotta love it. Normally, 4 or 5 super reds sit. The babies sit like right there, right in the middle. So if I just clean that off, maybe they're all in that hut. Oh, there's one right there. See it? That little pink dot or yellow, orange, yellow dot right there. That's a super red, baby super red pleco. I'm not going to zoom in my camera because I'm going to pick up everything, all the detritus and all that. So they're in here. I know I've counted anyways 10 little super red pleco fry. And probably about the same for chocolate fry. In other news, this chair is going to be disappearing. Once this corner's cleaned out, I've already priced out the pond lining. I'm going to build a mini pond right here. Based on the length, it's going to come to... Oh, who cares? These are the... I just need to want to get the duckweed off my hands before I touch my phone. Whatever, good enough. I used these jeans anyways yesterday to install the brakes on my new front end brakes on my van yesterday with the guys, the mechanic. This is going to be moved out. I have from there to here is like 54 or 56 inches roughly. So it'll come to this edge right here, which I can deal with. And I'm going to put pond liner. I'm going to build a 2x4 frame. And I'm going to put a pond here. Indoor pond right there. And I figured, based on measurements, it's going to be about 250, 300 gallons. Hey, White. So this chair, I got to try to squeak in my closets. Otherwise, I'm just going to take it in half. Move my son's bed closer to my bed. And that'll go there. Otherwise, I'm just going to pack this up, seal it. You know, when not the bubble wrap, but the other wrap. The pessimistic optimist says, "What do you think of the Siamese algae? Is it worth getting a few?" I like them. I've kept them because this. But you got to be careful because if you don't have a top, in my experience, if you leave the top off, they're jumping out of the tank and going elsewhere. You know, onto the next life. So a lot of my tanks don't have covers, and I've lost some fish because of that. My one really nice koi jumped out, and I didn't realize it was on the floor behind the 125. I do have a glass cover for this, but or a plexiglass cover. I just have not yet to put it back on. I mean, these Oscars and these other fish have not jumped out or even made an attempt to jump out. But I'm gonna get those covers back on. I want to move that light down, but Siamese alligators, they're cool. I think those are the ones that get to 11, or is it 6 inches? I can't remember because there's so many different alligators. Mine's covered, so I think I will. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Don't mind me. Wow, look at all those shrimp over there. See them swimming up and down that wall? I know you can't see from your angle. If I zoom in, it'll get even grainier. But there's literally 50 to 100 shrimp all along that wall in that open area. Why is that one... My question is, why is that one filter not running? There we go. Now it's running. I guess cut off when I was doing the airline, fixing the airlines and moving that 10-gallon tank. Whoa, hello. Well, that's weird. I'm sorry about that guy. The guy's that flashing. It's been doing that a lot lately, so I don't know if it's my phone's getting too hot, but this is the shrimp tank that I'm going to move today. I really don't want to move this thing because it's been set up for so long. And I got to drain so much water out of it. I figure I have to at least drain it down to here. That way it's manageable. With the gravel, be 60, 80 pounds or roughly. Stop drinking that water. Enough. Go. Bad girl. Go. Stay. If I leave her home all day. See this little pinch? That's from her claw trying to pull the tank over. But what she doesn't realize is how 180 pounds worth of water in there. Well, or at least 160. Plus there's gravel and rocks and everything in the base. That thing's not getting tipped over. I'm just afraid that if she gets that thing to start splitting, even though it's a roughneck tote, Rubbermaid roughneck, it shouldn't split. But I'm afraid if she gets a gouge going in it, it will split. Ah, get away. She doesn't learn. That's why I got that cover to the tote. Forgot to ask, are they okay with guppies? That I don't see. I thought they were semi-aggressive. I just don't know if the Siamese algae eaters will. I would assume so, but don't quote me. I don't know for 100%. Normally, I've never kept them with guppies. I always put them in the tank because they're semi-aggressive with South American cichlids or something like that. Just because they, you know what I mean, they can hold their own against those guys. So I don't know. I would suggest look it up on YouTube or see the care sheet. Maybe Jason or Fish Tropic can tell you. I just don't know. Yeah, no problem. No problem. The pessimistic optimist. So, I mean, that's pretty much what's going on, guys. I'm probably going to cut the live stream here in the next 10 minutes or so. Get about a 45-minute live stream going. Then I'm going to drain that tank down. Use filter floss. That way I don't suck up any of the babies. Because the really small ones, if I don't use filter floss, I could suck up even the adult shrimp out of that tank. So, get that moved. Then I got to move all that stuff. The tools, vacuum under there. And then I'm going to plan what I'm going to do in this corner. Probably set up the 40-gallon breeder stand over here temporarily. And I guess I could add to it and make it 340s right here. 3 40-gallon breeders. I was thinking of something different, something bigger. Or maybe I'll do a rack of 20 longs. You know, right here. 140 and then the rest of 20 longs. Do 10, 20 longs or something. 12, 20 longs. Of course, going lengthwise like this, like the 10 gallons are. But let me know what you guys think. I think I'm going to cut the stream here, guys, unless you have any other questions before I'm going to cut it. If you're new to the channel, please think about subscribing if you like this type of content, looking for info. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, so you can get notified when I go live stream or come up with new video content. And take it easy, everyone. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, there's a 750 subscriber giveaway going. I am continuing that. First place is a $25 Amazon gift card. Second and third place is two $10 each gift cards. So they'll get a $10 gift card apiece. That may increase, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. That way people that watch internationally can buy stuff off of Amazon. And that's at 750 subs. Now, I assume that I might have 750 subs when I got to Massachusetts, so I won't do the giveaway while I'm at my parents' on vacation. But I will definitely do it when I get back from vacation. If I hit 750 subs before then. I'll probably be way more than that, to be honest, because I've been picking up somewhere between 5 and 10 a day. So I figure I don't know what I'm at right now. It's at 733. So there's always a chance by Wednesday or Thursday of this week I'll hit 750, but I'm leaving out Thursday. Thursday's my birthday. I don't think there'll be a live stream. If I do a live stream and I hit 750 subs, just because it's my birthday, I think I'm going to hold off on the live stream doing like giveaway. Maybe I'll do it Friday when I get to my parents' house, because it's just an Amazon gift card. People give me their email address in a PM or whatever, and I'll send them the code or the link, you know what I mean, the gift card code, and they can just add it right to their Amazon account, you know. You can just gift it. It'll send that special link to the people that win. And now on that 750 sub giveaway, you got to go to the original Fish Tropic says white. Yep. The pessimistic optimist says thanks, Brian. Fish Tropic says white. Pro Tim Captain can't stay long, feeling very sleepy. I gave a like. Hi, Jason, everyone. Jason, real quick question, or Fish Tropic. The pessimistic optimist was asking, Siamese algae eaters, are they okay with guppies? I know they're semi-aggressive type fish. What are your thoughts? Wrote him. The pessimistic optimist. 21 question. Oh, I'm 21 subs away. Oh, okay. Maybe I lost a couple then. I don't know. So 21 I could probably do in the next 3-4 days tops. It'll probably happen while I'm at home. Simea, I stay clear. No age. Oh, okay. My age? I'm not 21. I'm gonna be. Oh, my birthday. I'm gonna turn 38. So not that far from the big 4-0. Get a hill stream loach. Oh, okay. Yeah, but hill stream roaches, you need to be really careful with your water parameters, and they need high flow. But guys, I think, you know what, I'll give this till I hit 45 minutes on the dot. So I'll stream for like 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to move these tanks. I got to set up my tripod. That way I can, Molly, don't drink that water. She like sticks her nose in. She's trying to get to the rubber lip plecos that like to chill on the decorations in here. Which the other, I honestly, well, I honestly believe I have 10 rubber lip plecos in this 18 gallon. Siamese algae eaters are shit disturbers. Yeah, yep. Aren't the Siamese algae eaters the one that can grow to 11 or 12 inches long, or am I thinking of the wrong algae eater? Plus, they're ornery. Like, they'll mess around with other fish. Like, they have no problem doing that. So for guppies, I wouldn't say so. Now, would I keep Siamese algae eaters in here with the Oscars and Severums and convicts and stuff that can take care of themselves? Hell yeah. Because, you know, they're not going to be crazy. But in my experience, I haven't kept tops, and anytime I get those algae eaters, they always end up on the floor, or I never find them. Like, they die or they jump out of the tank somehow, even when I had covers on them. A day I never saw them again. I never saw any dead bodies or rot or anything. So, who knows? To be honest with you. I've put so many algae eaters in this thing, bigger algae eaters where I spent more money, that they just disappeared, and I would just chalk that up to the female Oscar and the Severums eating them. Possibly. Stick with plecos. White says my flying foxes are peaceful. Have devoured my black-billed algae. HQ is on, Brian. Oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Tropic, I got rid of HQ because it was eating up too much my system resources on my phone. And half the time, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't in an area where I could do it. It would be the only days I could do HQ is on my days off. Because the other days I was at work or I didn't have signal to hop on through Wi-Fi, because cell service up here is hit and miss in different areas. So guys, I'm back at the 125. If you have any questions for me, feel free. I'm looking for suggestions on this tank. I know it's going to be a super red. This is going to be a for-profit tank eventually, but in about a month. The pessimistic optimist says, I have a lot of plants, so I don't want anything that will eat them. Oh, those algae eaters shouldn't eat them. The plecos shouldn't eat the plants either unless it's dying and decaying. Same with the snails. Like, just like anything, if you kept the things fed enough, you'll be fine. So, that's this tank. There's the new sword, or the sword from the 10 gallon. Like I said, I added like another big scoop of duckweed in here. Oh snap! Yep. I added the Aqua Clear 70 from that 10 gallon that I had, with all of the plants growing out of the hang on back. The flow's quite high in this, as you can see. So I think that helped polish the water a little bit more in here. Plus, that Aqua Clear 70 has been up for like 4 years right now. Once in a great while, just have to clean the little impeller, and that's about it. And declog this. But I got enough water flow even with all that duckweed sitting on that thing. That DIY sponge filter that I made, intake sponge filter. So yeah, I mean, there's the yo-yo loaches. Oh snap! So I want to get like 3 or 5 more of those because they grow to about 6 inches, not like the clown loaches that are like 12-ish. The convicts, like I said, will be moved out of this tank, and yeah, then I'll move the super reds in here, but that's gonna be a month from now, maybe 2 weeks after I get back from vacation. I'll start moving the super red enclosures in here from that 10-gallon, or I mean that 18-gallon tote. Maybe I'll move the rubber lip plecos in here. I don't know. I just want it to be high where Molly, if she's going to beat on glass, I want it to be thicker glass. And this glass is like, you know, 1/4 to 3/8 inch thick. She won't break this. Not unless she finds something metal that will ding up against this glass and break a section. But I seriously doubt that. So I want to get some more koi angelfish. Yesterday or earlier today, saw on Instagram someone selling like a blue stripe angelfish with like silver. I can't remember the name of it, but I put it in a PM to them because I want to get like 2 or 3 pairs of them, male, female. I think they're roughly this size, maybe slightly bigger, and get those because I love blue. Blue's my favorite color. So yeah. Alright guys, well I'm past that good old ripe 45 minutes. Screw it, I'll give it till an hour. Yeah, I'm only 12 minutes away. I know I keep saying that, but it's just slowing me up for the day. There's those, what are they, harlequin raspberries or pork chop raspberries or whatever you want to call them. So I got 5 of those. All that. I mean, the TDS in this tank's right around 250 right now. And I just chalked that up to the planted media or the planted substrate because it has all that beneficial nutrients and stuff like that in it. I don't know. I've done quite a bit of water changes on this lately. That Aqua Clear, since I put it on, and how many gallons per hour it does, it seems like with all the plant roots and stuff, it's really cleaned this water up a lot. And the duckweed, so the cloudiness is more gone down a little bit more in this tank. And it wasn't because of an algae bloom. It might have just been the latent dust in here from the substrate as I planted stuff. So yeah. There's one of the convicts. They always come to this side, like they're looking for food, and I've already fed them twice today. I'm keeping it light because I don't want to throw this tank out of balance. Everything's like reading 0, no joke. Even though I put fertilizer in this yesterday. Sorry, reading 0 again. Because I did test after, I was just curious, I did test after I ferted this. The nitrate level went up to like, what is it, 0.5 or whatever? Or 1. And then before I went to bed, it was down to 0.5 across the board. There was no chlorine, obviously, no ammonia. So the plants are taking care of it. So obviously they're taking those nutrients in. So let's see, what temp is this at? This tank is at 73 degrees, right where I have that thing, that Eheim set for. What's up, D's Aquariums? How you doing? So that's the 75. As you guys can see, I keep coming back to this 75. Sorry for the shakiness there. My back's kind of sore right now because moving the tanks yesterday. Decline. This is my wifey trying to call me. Or soon-to-be ex-wifey. Probably wants to talk about going on the vacation I'm going on because she's coming up to see my parents and spend time with my sister and her kids. Yes, we're on that good of a rapport this we can't make it work, you know? What's that yo-yo going for? Oh, It's going after a snail. See it? It's trying to get that little tiny snail right there. Yep, got it. Got him in. I told you some of the snails came over in that duckweed yesterday. And the Naha grass. So those are my little puffers, if you want to call them. Here, let me go show you guys Butterbean, or AKA Little Savage. Come on, Molly. Get out of there. Ah. Ah. So I got fancy guppies in this tank, guys. I thought loaches are funny. Move. So I got the rubber lip plecos. I'm pretty sure I added new ones, 5 from the mom and pop store in here. Some more fancy guppies to change the gene pool up. This tank's been, drained down to 20-30% a couple times over the last couple weeks. This to drop the TDS levels. I did a gravel vac in there. This looks a lot healthier and cleaner in here. Those decorations used to be in that 55 African Cichlid tank. I moved them in here because I'm pretty sure all the rubber lip plecos were inside, because I could not find any rubber lip plecos. So if that's the case, really, dead fish. Let me throw that in the snail tank. Normally, any dead little guppies I find, and I think that's from Molly, because she goes in there and tries to bite the water. So I gotta really put a plastic top on this, so she can't do any damage to them. Hey, leave it alone. Just so you guys know, not to be mean, but if you hear me call Molly shithead, that's her second name for her, because she acts like a shithead sometimes. Get away from the damn tank. I guess she's like a little kid. She doesn't know when to stop. So I just like to let the duckweed and the plants, get some light for a few hours, which they did. Before I close it back up. Don't mind my place, I'm still cleaning up. So I do a little cleaning, do a little moving of fish tanks and stuff. There is Little Savage, or Butterbean, hanging out. Sorry for all the algae. Midday Captain, yeah. How you doing, V-Stag? Here's that little tiger lotus that's going to grow. As you can see, all the little pink stuff on it. That's why I moved it closer to the light. I got the Bacopa right there. There is the male pleco, super red, in here. There's 2 males, 2 females in here. I know there's baby super red fry in here. Pleco fry. Normally they chill in the caves. They don't come out much. I do catch them at night, and that puffer does not bug the plecos at all. It's more interested in chasing the fast-moving things, to be honest with you. So you got the male super red right there, looking nice. Let me see. Usually the male super red's always in this cave facing in, where his tail's sticking out. So that's when I know they're breeding, because they breed in that cave and that cave right there. They breed in pretty much all the caves except for this one that was claimed by the lobster, or the blue self-cloning lobster. So that guy's there. Once I get the super reds out of here, I'm gonna take all these pleco enclosures out, and then I'm gonna add, like I was saying with the last live stream, or the Instagram live stream, I'm gonna actually use this PVC. It's safe for fish. It's this rain gutter, and I'm gonna cap the end, because I got a cap. I'm gonna sink this, and that's gonna be the crayfish's new habitat. I'm gonna shorten that though, because I don't like how long and bulky it is. So a little DIY cave. I know this puffer has been having crayfish snacks. That's why he's fat half the time. This puffer gets fed blood shrimp, or bloodworms. The occasional ghost shrimp that I find in my tanks. I did add 15 or 20 ghost shrimp in here. I'm pretty sure it's finished all of them at this point, or the ghost shrimp have jumped out of the tank. Can't tell you. I gotta put a top on this because I've been finding smaller guppy like juvies on this and some of the big males. So I don't know if when I turn the lights on they get spooked and they hop out of this tank, but I have to put a cover on this one. Just because I don't like waking up the last 3 mornings with a dead fry. I don't know if that puffer was hunting and was hungry and chased him out of the tank, which wouldn't surprise me. So the stocking on this is 5 pepper cord cats, the 1 Fahaka puffer, all these fancy guppies, some ghost shrimp if any of them are left. The puffer won't go into these caves at all, so I think it doesn't like the cave. So if there's any ghost shrimp, they're in the caves with the pleco fry. So that's that tank. We're almost at an hour. And there's Butterbean just chilling. Probably deciding whether or not it wants to go after that male guppy. I don't know what about you guys, but that's a stunning super red pleco. And that, by the way, that's longfin, guys. I'm pretty sure that's the longfin variant for the super reds. Sorry, I couldn't get a clear picture. Just the LED light right here is bright and it kind of bleeds stuff out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do once I move the plecos out of here and start, because I'm going to have this set up as a breeding tank for the fancy guppies. I'll leave the neon tetras in here because they don't chase the little fry from the fancy guppy fry. But my question, there was 8 neon tetras in here. I'm only seeing 1. Where are the rest? I wonder if this Fahaka's been knocking off the neon tetras. Wouldn't surprise me. Or this crayfish has been knocking off the neon tetras. Casper's Aquatics. Hello, everyone. Break a tank. Cool idea. Yep. That's a huge female guppy. Oh, yeah. Yep. I fed green beans on this. And peas because I don't like these guys getting impacted. You know? And the more varied diet you give them, the better their spawn. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And these fancy guppies are really daring right now because if this tank light was off, that crayfish would come out and snag any of those guppies that were close. You know how those crayfish are. They're opportunistic. Look at that big fat mama. Hiding behind there on the... so let's see. What do you guys think? Tell me which ones you think out of this tank, if I was going to pull a male, 2 males and 2 females on here, which one should I take out? For fancy guppies. Kind of like that guppy, even though the tail's a little messed up. I'd probably pull that blue with black striped female out of there. Probably that orange and yellow tailed with black striping female. I know they're past, but I want them to drop their fry before I put them in a tank for them to breed. I'm going to set up male-only tanks, female-only tanks, a breeding tank. So I'm going to have 4 tanks set up for each variant that I want to breed. Does that sound about right, Jason? 3 to 4 tanks per gene pool that I want to breed. The most solids and match colors. That's the ones you want me to do. So I'll take her. Probably take that one. You got that color. That's not a bad one. I like the blues and stuff, or the purples with the stripes. So you got these 2 females that look just about the same. Come on, everyone. Come over to the glass. Tap, tap, tap. Follow my finger. So many pregnant females in here. I'm gonna set up a tank just so I can have only females in there, let them drop all their fry, and I'm gonna have that as almost like a cull tank. A tank of females for females, a tank for fry, a tank for males, keep them separate. And then I was gonna have a tank just for the males and females to breed in, drop their fry, and go from there. Well, that makes sense. So 3 tanks, I guess I can get away with. So I'll have 12 tanks set up so I can get 3 lines going of different styles. Oh, looks like Butterbean's looking for food, going on the prowl. There is snails that it hasn't eaten yet in here. They're smaller ones, but it's like, get a breeder hang on. These Aquarium says, I like the purple body red-tailed one. Yep. And I'm thinking of whatever I don't like use for specific breeding, I'm going to sell them as this assorted guppies and let the fish fam this pick up some assorted guppies that have good coloring. Get a breeder, save the fry. Half the fry usually get eaten. Yep. And especially with this Fahaka puffer in here, he's definitely eating a lot of the fry. I know that for a fact. The fry hang out and it's sitting near the little areas. So if I'm going to keep the Fahaka in here, I think I'm going to move the bulk of the fancy guppies out of here. Maybe I'll just keep neon tetras in here, because they'll stay away. And then I'm going to have this totes with culls, or this assorted guppies that people want. I'll take them out, take pictures of them. I once bought some shrimps, put them in with neons the next morning. Only had neon heads in the bottom of the tank. Still know what they were. Still here. Wow, hi again, says Mr. B. Yep, I'm still here. I'm past an hour, but honestly, I gotta plug my phone in. I've already said that I was gonna leave at the 1 hour mark, just because while I'm streaming, it's kind of hard to set you guys someplace to do work that I need to do. Mister. Excuse me. Don't mind me, I'm just plugging this in because I was at 15% 5 minutes ago. Saying low battery right now, so. Lost you early, I thought it ended. It did end because the stream stalled, but it wasn't showing on my end, so I'm plugged in now, so I should be good. Yeah, I'm at 10%. So if anyone's looking for, once I pick the 3 or 5 or 6 pairs of guppies that I want to keep and breed, the rest I'm going to start trying to sell the males and females. Maybe do it as pairs or trios or whatever, and see who from the fish fam wants to get some fancy guppies. Pretty much I'm going to sell those pretty much almost next to nothing. Shipping and whatever it costs, for a pair. I'll be generous with them. Because obviously I'm going to, if I ship any fancy guppies to anyone or whatever, I'm going to throw extras in there just in case there's any dead loss from travel, And I might offload the bulk of those fancy guppies at the new mom and pop store in Burlington, Vermont, that I'm not breeding, or especially trying to breed, because they do buy from outside breeders. And I've talked to the owner, or I got to talk to the owner on that, and see if I can't. Too bad you can't ship to me. Why can't I ship to you, Mr. B? Are you out of the country? You're not in the U.S.? Yeah, because I can't ship internationally. I don't have the permits. Canada across the border? Well, funny thing is, I told Jason of Fish Tropic that I'm going to come up and meet him, or my goal is to go up and meet and do a tank tour of Jason's thing, and where he's sponsored through a fish store or a fish shop up there. Go up there, record, get some stuff like that, because I'm getting the improved license here. So if I was going up that way, I could always bring them and put them in, not a breather bag, but a 5-gallon pail. Probably not a pail, but I'll put them in bags to kind of keep them hidden, and I'll bring some up that way and give them to Jason, and maybe he can ship them to you or something. But I don't know the policies about taking fish across the border, I mean, I assume if I just have them in my van in there in an inconspicuous bag in my van. No one's gonna say anything. But who knows? Cross that bridge when we get there. And there's Miss Molly. Service fish, laugh out loud. Get out across the border. Yep, right. Molly's going back to the. Okay. I'm just trying to see where that speculate is coming from. Oh, I see. What's that? Okay. They will not let you permits quarantine. Gotcha. All right. So I probably won't even attempt it then. Well, I was just thinking if I'm driving in a vehicle, unless they search my whole vehicle, I'm the unlucky person that gets randomly stopped. Um, I won't be able to take them. I won't even waste my time. It's not worth the hassle and getting in trouble. Let's see. So we got people in here. Any other questions for me? Because my wife's texting me like crazy right now, trying to get in touch with me. So I don't know. Sorry for the shakiness. I don't have my little tripod. The wife, Mr. B, me and my wife are separated. We've been separated for 3 years, or going almost on 3.5. So I'm in no rush. I got my own apartment and all that. So, but you know what, guys? I'm gonna call it quits. Normally I don't do this long of a stream during the day, but at one point I was streaming like 3 or 4 times a day. You know, once in the early morning for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and then around noontime, 2 o'clock, and then I go to work. Come a wonderful day.